Hello, my name is Kyle,
This is the story.
and this is the story of my grandfather and his skunks. A long time ago, when my grandfather was in his early teens, he was a bit of a nature boy. What he would do is he would often go out into the woods and bring back animals for pets. He had brought home crows, squirrels, a raccoon, an opossum, and at one point even a baby deer, although the baby deer ran away the next day, and that really doesn't count. One day he got a crazy idea into his head that he wanted a baby skunk. He got this idea one evening when he was hanging out with his friends Paul, George, and Reggie at the local salmon hatchery dumpster. They had a flashlight, it was very powerful, and they shined it on the various animals right there, which were predominantly skunks, and they all froze in this light. Because it was apparently good fun, and they didn't have anything better to do. Now, according to my grandpa, these skunks were very pretty. They were the size of a house cat. They had jet black fur with silky white stripes running down their sides, and their fur was very fluffy. My grandpa's friend had a pet skunk, and he said it felt like fluffy cotton. And, of course, he wanted one for himself. A few weeks later, he would get the opportunity. One day, when his dad was driving him home from school, my great-grandfather, there was a mama skunk waddling across the road, followed by 6 little kids. For those that don't know, those are baby skunks. While the car was still in motion, my grandpa threw the car door open, hopped out of the car, stumbled a bit, but didn't lose his balance, and then ran out and snatched up 3 baby skunks by their tails. Now, according to him, if you grab a skunk by the tail, he can't spray you, which was a good thing because he had 3 of them in his hands, although that didn't stop them from biting him. What he did next was he ran into the back of the truck, hopped in the bed of the truck, and then threw them all into an apple box and sealed them in. He thought that was airtight enough, so he brought the box with him to the front seat. That is not the case. You see, the baby skunks did not take too kindly to being handled so roughly, and so they let their spray loose. And that soaked clear through the box, all over my grandpa. And of course, that also fogged up the cabin, and my great-grandfather was none too happy about that. Oh. They still had to drive home. My great-grandpa almost ran the car off the road from gagging. By the time they got home, my grandpa hopped out of the car and dashed right to the barn and set the box in there. To the dismay of the cows, that is, because that's where they kept their cows. Now, his mom, my great-grandmother, was none too pleased by this and gave him quite a verbal lashing because he had not only stunk very badly, but also ruined his school clothes. And, according to my grandfather, there is no way to get rid of skunk stink. The urban myth that tomato juice and vinegar can get rid of skunk smell is just a myth. If a skunk sprays you, you're going to stink for weeks. And if you got it on your clothes, you're going to have to throw them out. Needless to say, my grandfather still wanted the skunks for pets. And he kept them. However, he didn't let them out of the box, and he wanted their scent glands removed, which I hope he would, considering what had happened to him. Now, in order to do that, he needed to get an operation done on them, so I asked his friend, Susan Spear, if her father could do the job. Now, keep in mind that her father was the town's long-standing doctor. However, he told my grandpa that he needed to see a veterinarian, but by the time he got a veterinarian and made an appointment with him, The skunks ran away. After all that trouble, they just up and disappeared one night. The box was open and they weren't there. And since then, he hasn't decided he to tame one since. And that is the story.
Awesome.